Hello and welcome. It is calendar year 2019, month number 7, day number 20. And as I'm doing this the time is 12:51 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. All bets, trades of the like always, within each his own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. And it's hard right now. It is hard. I should be getting into this in some sort of format. I like how my portfolio is set up. And I did add Bitcoin Cash last night, and a good amount of it as well too. I'll get into that in a little bit. Hopefully, some of my alerts will go off because, hey man, markets are moving right now. Single hour with an EOS at 11 a.m. It broke out for it was at the low end of 3,965 Satoshi. It has now since rallied up to 4112. That's a differential of about 140 or so. 4% almost. But what we're seeing within the market is, as far as key levels and all those stuff, how markets move, where we come from, after this big low and this big high, it has stayed within the range, meaning it has not went above this low, nor has it even been close, with this being the most largest low and in the liftoff support trend line in here. This level of resistance, which was the first real attempt in breaking it since the decline. We can see there's the move. No real attempt here. But yeah, real attempt at this point. It established the resistance level in this level here, which was really good because breaking out here, you expect maybe we go up to here, which it did a little bit better. Rather, it supported this area within the 18 for quite some time, and we've just had excitation of the 18 just now. Okay, let's see how we do. As far as some shorter term time frames, let's just take a look at this on a 4 minute level. This thing got going at about 11:56 a.m. Eastern Time and seems pretty good right now. Bitcoin Cash. Okay, no, let's not go there yet because the daily chart, I haven't even went to seeing how much this has gotten its ass kicked. And I still have to talk about the reason why I wanted to talk about EOS and why. I mean, I haven't even told you why I should get into it. Just because this one's having its move, it looks like a lot of these coins are having good up moves right now. Okay, so with that being said, I've been talking a little bit about just listening to this one. Well, okay, about a month plus back, maybe around a month back, several weeks ago, I was just getting frisky with an idea. You know what? I'm in the idea of quote unquote mocking that of just using heavily used psychics as your idea for investing. And here I am holding Theta. Well, we'll get into that too. But yeah, and of course, that's all psychic related. So I did the search and I just looked around. I thought, let's just first look for Ouija board in cryptos. And I found one gentleman who was using it realistically. He was seriously using it, but literally seriously. And even more boring than some of my videos can be when I just get total technical and analytical on it. So I didn't watch much of it, and I was I was just seeing. I didn't even get anything out of it. Then I seen another one do a Ouija one, but it was on comedy. So I mean, you know what? That's all fine and dandy. Using a crypto, basically for the same thing I was thinking about, making fun of it. So then I go to Samantha James. She was the next one that came up on the psychic, and she had a bunch of videos going back into 2018 anyway. So I just took one of the random videos from near the bottom, and one of the things she said was if you're listening to people like me for psychics for investment advice, you're an idiot. And I'm thinking, oh, I love you, man. But as I'm going through, I'm like, oh my goodness, just this, she's amazing. Well, one of the picks she's talking about, that's just gonna go. This thing is just gonna go up straight fast. First, one of the first movers is going to be EOS. I mean, the early gainer is the one that you'd be looking to have, like, make it back up to this type of level here and maybe even new highs above it. In the very near term, as we talk about the next few weeks, what we'll see if it ends up happening. Again, the name is Samantha Jane. She has been tremendous as far as her Bitcoin call recently. What she was mentioning was that, oh, this is going to go back down to 9,300. 9,300, this is, or she was even recommending buy order a hair above 93. That's what she was stating. And she was saying this back uh, before this happened, before this fall. So we're talking about end of June. she was saying this. And then this happened. It goes down to 97.50, and as it's going up, as her reports were coming into this after this event, no, I don't think that was the move. She was saying, no, I don't think. I think it's still to come, is what she was saying. And here we have it here, where we have the 9300 as its big support. Since then, on the 8-hour time frame for Bitcoin, this is a tremendous, tremendous setup right now. I think so anyway. Yeah, we're still stuck in this sideways. I'm not gonna call it mess, but really for what it's really what it's worth, you spend little time. You just wait it through. You trade the range if need be. It's in the range bound market, but while it's within the range, we are lifting off from this bottom. We did not. Excuse me. I was going to say we did not find resistance here, but we did. But and I say that I'm just going to remove these lines again because we found resistance during these two periods. And this was an interesting one because we see within this one how it had this price dip below. So within it, it had a failed breakdown. So after that, got above the lows, got above the highs, but only by a bit. And obviously, this established resistance has become magnificent as it spent the last half dozen or so periods hanging in there within the 18 average of highs. This does seem poised to have a tremendous breakout coming soon. And when I say tremendous, yeah, we're in this range bound market. Okay, so what does it mean when we're right in here for the range? Well, a tremendous breakout means filling some of this up empty space. And of course, it's got to really. I can't get too excited. Okay, we got. Let's just talk about Neo Theta. I'm probably going to sell Neo for Theta. But before we get into that, I expected those alerts were going to come in because the market's wild right now, or moving. But with that being said, we have the price to go up here until it gets up here. If it starts to move up higher, well, then you can start to get enthusiastic about potentially who knows how fast 20,000 may hit type of attitude. But until then, short term, it looks like it's going to break out, fill into the 11 to 12,000 range maybe. Okay, let's take a look at this whole Neo Theta thing. So for me, I could just click on this and it's going to take me to it. So it looks like I need to make a deposit because I don't have any Neo on my. That doesn't take long to send them either, and costs nothing, which is amazing. Not one single fee in or out of either my Atomic wallet, which is where all my Neo are right now. I am pretty sure, but I'll send the Neo that I need for that of Theta. The ratio is 112.89. What was my last trade? Let's take a look at my spreadsheet. 104. So that's 8 basis points. I want a bit better than that. Maybe 113 and change to 114. But in that, I'll be selling Neo to buy Theta. I'm looking to get out some Bitcoin Cash in here because I added the Bitcoin Cash and Theta across. So I'm probably going to sell some of that soon for some Theta. I have to deposit. It's not going to be fun waiting for the withdrawal time or for the time. But you know what? I am a Bitcoin Cash is something I'm becoming very super bullish on. So I'm going to have to play it. I do have a sell order ready, and I know it hasn't hit yet because there's an alert for it. But I do have a sell order for Bitcoin Cash against DGB. I do got to be careful because DGB at 112. If it goes up to 113, 114, I got to really cancel my order. So I'm just going to take a quick check here to see if it has. It hasn't because that's what I'd be buying in advance. So as far as this Neo Theta is concerned on here, we can ignore everything down. Let's ignore that. But 92 is a low. We got a high here. This is the 1 hour chart. So let's just change this to the daily. Nice little setup there just before on that. But even here, because you got this level of previous resistance, finding support, but I like its volatility. You got, up here, 242, down to 50, up to 150, 112. And if you consider, and if you think about the volatility aspect, this is going back to July of last year, so 1 year. How many stocks can do that? Oh yeah, we have a move, and whatever the price is irrelevant. The X factor is what's relevant. So 250 down to like we'll say 50. That's a 5x move. To have a 5x move, and all of these tremendous moves in betweening it. As this is this high to this low is of course 5x, but this low to this high, even just some of these little small ones like this one here, all of these little moves, and of course just being able to trade up here, buy back, and you can see for myself, I'm now selling back on the way up because I was buying in here as my Well, let's just see. I'm just going to just take a quick look. But the lowest I have here is 79.31. My lowest number for trade, 95 even July 16, which probably is on this day. Technically, it would have been July 16 my day, so it would have been nighttime then. So on this way down, the best I got was 95. So I got none of this down to 80. 15-point differential from it too. So how much of a real move? How fast was it? Well, that was when Theta had that move to 1400. So yeah, you really can't count that. And that was like around 11, 12 o'clock at night. I would have been selling Theta to buy Neo. So now, of course, it's in turn Neo to buy Theta. Let's take a look at Neo itself. See what's going on with Neo. It's up 3%. I still got to look at Bitcoin Cash. Man, what a big level. I mean, I'll keep that line there, but that's just like Bitcoin Cash. It's got a very similar line at like the 51 handle. This has got it at 16 here. So after it last left it here, boom, 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 all of these red candle down moves. So from here to here, there was just this one small blimp of a green move. Almost every single one red move had an okay percentile move down. 5 down, if we look at 3.7 down, percentage moves are on the top right where we can see on the top part of the screen. And then 2.76 down, and then 3.5 down, then the up move is only 1.25, and then down 4.4 ninths, down 5 3/10, down 4%, and then the last day was down 4 2/5. And now we're pretty much having up days, and we're getting, of course, trades back and forth is how I want to do it. Now, what I'm probably thinking about doing is get a spreadsheet together and just predict over, say, like 500, 600 days how the price of each coin would look. Something like Bitcoin Cash and Theta together. And then just go over and trade it together. Because I wouldn't be surprised if there becomes a day, and I know I'm looking at Neo right now, so let me just put up Bitcoin Cash now. And there's a 52, but and I'm now far. I got my seller at like 319. It's kind of pulled back, unfortunately. Yeah, I put my seller in here. So be it. Okay, so what I'm thinking is this coin, which is like $330 right now, or whatever it is, that I believe there'll be a day where it'll be worth more than Bitcoin. But what price will that come at? $100,000. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a six-figure coin. Theta, that if anything, I mean, I've heard maybe the thousands by quote unquote a psychic before, White Dove, and I should state that yesterday in the video from Samantha Jane, she seemed to, if you want, her status for Theta was actually negative coming. And I'm trying to read her the best that I can, and it's not the easiest for me because I'm not the best at it, but I'm pretty good. That she might have had a little bit of confusion because she seems to have the same, she is in Samantha Jane, has the same sort of ideologies or same sort of likeness of Ethereum in that I don't like it too much than me. I don't like Ethereum, and she doesn't like it either. And she was talking with somebody who had Theta, and she had actually earlier she had negative feelings on it, but she kind of was. Well, anyway, you can watch the video yesterday. It was she's like kind of feeling the confusion on it, like no, no, no. And statistically for me, Theta's pretty good. But yeah, what I want to do is put a spreadsheet in, put like 500, 700 rows, and then just simulate, okay, one day it'll go up 5%. Next day it'll go down 3. Next day it'll go down 1. Next day it goes up 12. Next day it goes up 5. Next day it goes down 10. All that type of stuff. And how would it realistically move over 500 days? I got to calculate dartboard rallies and sell offs. I got to calculate individual moves like the ones Theta's been having. Bitcoin Cash can have individual moves as well, and how it would work out, and then I could play the ratio trade and just simulate how would I do based on how I trade the markets now. Do all that kind of stuff, kind of deal. That's basically one of my plans. So last night, yeah, I bought more Bitcoin Cash. What I did was I had to fund it. I got out of my ARC fund. I was just looking at all the coins that I had. What do I really want to scrape out? And that's all I could do is scrape out ARC. Um, I was thinking about taking a bit out of DGB, and I probably could have and should have. I guess for EOS, that's one way of getting it. But so I took a bit out of ARC, and then I sold some Bitcoin. I sold some Litecoin as well, and I ended up buying both Theta and Bitcoin Cash last night. I did that. Well, I did a video yesterday on trying to get into it. I'm like, yeah, I got so much extra Bitcoin. I still got extra funds to make it easy for me to do it, and so much extra Litecoin too. And as far as the Litecoin Bitcoin Cash chart is concerned, let's put it up. So Bitcoin Cash is first. When it goes up, Bitcoin Cash is doing better than Litecoin. And of course, like Bitcoin Cash is going down against Bitcoin, and obviously not like Litecoin. It's been a unique move, this rally and sell-off, at least compared to that of LTC. It's overperformed it since that point. And we take a look at this. Let's just take a look at some other time frames. So as far as day trading this on the 15, what do we got? Like this little move in here, I find pretty like just little stuff like this. How it goes up and down in that nature. We have a low of 310 and even a stable high around 319. So that's 3%. And for short-term moves, that's basically what you're most of the time going to try to get. Then you get wild volatility. Now here's an interesting spot right now as it is. Do you buy here? Just interestingly enough because of how the market conditions are moving from this point. You have this low. Obviously, things have changed. You have this subtrend. You have this subtrend. We might still hit it. And now we have this one, which we're currently testing now. We're at the 18 average of lows. We're at this area where we came from. We're at this area where we came from, which coincides with this area here as well. So the strategy for me is you see the breakout, which of course occurred, started here at 1045, had a small move, and then the grand, not the, well, I guess the granddaddy of this break higher, because highs and lows are known after the fact, and now it's after the fact. This is a key high for this time frame. And there's your breakout. So as it's breaking it, like, yeah, I'm going to wait for it to come back. Well, now it's back. And in fact, if you were waiting, you were probably waiting for about 323. Now it's 322. Or 324 even you'd be waiting for. So now you go in there, okay, here's a strategy. Let's go long here now. Maybe if you're playing this game in whatever stop loss method, how deep is this going to go before it looks like, yeah, it's not going to be a move? Maybe you're like, okay, well, the lowest it's going to go is here. I'm going to put a stop maybe down at this level, and I'm going to profit for a move that's even above this high. So you got your strategy plan figured out. You do all the stuff that you need to do. I don't trade that way, but I know that's more of a more common method. And then another way is, okay, I not only want to see a pull back, but I want to see a pull back and leave, because if I use this strategy that I mentioned, you wait for a breakout pattern like this, a market to break out nice, then have it come back to where it came from, which is what it's doing. Well, 100% of the time if you on failed breakouts, you're going to buy and lose, because obviously it has to hit that level before you have your failed move, which of course should have price action down here somewhere later on. Okay. And of course, if it goes up, if you find support, you're going to win. And sometimes you're going to wait and it just doesn't go down here, meaning it breaks 332, it goes to 348, 357, or what larger number, and it never did go back to your intended buy zone. So not every time it breaks out, you're going to get the luxury of getting the buyback to an area for where it came from. So I didn't plan on talking about. I've talked about this type of strategy before, but it's just always good to know that every single time it's a failed move, you are going to get hit within that situation. Now, as far as this for more intermediate, longer term type of trading, look at these types of up and down moves. Just even here from what is this, July or June the 5th rather to now. This is a month and a half. Ideally, amongst my trading strategy, so if markets can just go choppy, I mean, a lot of traders look at this type of stuff and, yeah, it's too choppy, nothing there. I look at it and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing choppiness. Yeah, compared to other markets, its volatility is low. But it's still amazing. I mean, crypto volatility is massive as it is. And we can see in here, okay, we got a high near 4 and we got a low near 275. So the volatility differential, well, 1.25 is the differential in 275 to 4. And 50% is like 130, 140. So we're looking at like a little under 50% volatility. Not many stocks are going to give you that kind of volatility in a 6-week trading time. It just doesn't happen. And then you look at those up and down moves that can occur. You got a low here, you got a high here. All of the place. And this stuff like this, you got to be able to either you have to be there for that short period of time. There might only be a 30-minute, 1 hour, or a short period of trading gap where you could trade at these levels. But if you're there for that time, you're going to get it. And maybe it's just one of those blimp moves that just really never happened, and or you had to have a sell or buy order in one of the two crosses. Only way you get that. Okay, so be it. But even still, to have a move come up in here, down in here, up to here, down to there, there's just no way. I mean, 378 down to 306. Differential of like say 20%. So if you're in that volatility range, you're going to be able to flip back and forth, and it means that how if you're doing such, the ownership you have here of those two coins should only be higher here because of, I mean, not by that large of amount, but better than just holding the two. And my theory is, and it's not really a theory, it's kind of mathematical. I mean, it's not really a theory, whatever. But my thinking is that's a better way of putting it. If I want to own both of these for the long-term time frame, like months and well years and years, like several years, like uh, 2, 3 years or whatever, I think there's a good chance I'm going to hold these. And a lot of the whole strategy for people that don't want to trade the markets is just buy them, hold them, stick them in your hardware wallets, and you're good to go. And you know what? That's going to work out for great gains for a lot of people. But how about greater gains? Because along the way, when all that happens, I'm just going to be flipping them back and forth. And whenever I make a trade, think of your portfolio status. You have X amount of Bitcoin Cash, you have Y amount of Litecoin. And they are worth X amount of dollars, or they're worth X amount of Bitcoin, or they're worth so much on a base currency. And it's time to make a trade, one coin for another. Your net value that your coins are worth are pretty much going to be the exact same after the trade. It's just they're moving around here and there. But when you look at the fact after 30 days, 100 days, 400 days, you're going to be, oh my goodness, this is just worked out so magnificent amongst its movements. Now we look at this on the daily chart. Here we have November 2018. So we're looking at less than 1 year of time. 6 3/4 down to 3, back to 6 3/4, even lower down to 2 1/4. And even just some of these small moves, like how about this little bit here from January 2019 to the whole month of 2019? Is there anything here? Maybe not. 395 low, 420 high. That's so yeah. So you go through a period where you don't do anything. So be it. That's going to happen. But then down in here, you're grinding its way lower, which means when this goes down, which is winning? The one on the right hand side. So you'd be selling Litecoin for Bitcoin Cash in here. Maybe you'd sell like a trade back in here because if, say, you did buy at 273 and you see it go up to 297, if you're playing that volatility, you might make a trade, but even not, you could just be continuously buying Bitcoin Cash for Litecoin. But then you've accumulated the Bitcoin Cash so that from mid-March of 2019 or this year, all the way up to mid-May for the 2 week or 2 month, 8 9 week period, you're just distributing all those Bitcoin Cash, turning them into Litecoin, and then you flip it back again in here. And now the up and down choppy action in here over the last month has just enables you to get little bit of small gains here and there. But if you do this over 400, 600, 1,000 days, the amount of profit potential for doing this can be quite enormous. And that's really, I think, what it comes down to is just. And then as far as like where you have the coins, you could easily you could have them in your both Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin in your Nano Trezor, in your Atomic wallet, in your whatever. There's so many wallets out there where you can control your private keys, and a lot of it is send one coin to the exchange, sell it, then you buy the other. Do you then send it back to your whatever wallet? Your work there is done. Just going to take a quick look at my that Nano Theta. See if anything is transpiring, and it's pulling back, so I just a waiting game. I really should be putting a new alert in here. Let's just go somewhere in here, and there we have it. New alert in play for such. So when looking at the percentage moves, I can just take a look at Sky Go Coin. It's got a 6.5% move. Theta Go Chain 964. That's stuff like this happens. Goes up, it goes down. You had some choppy action. Let me just take a look at this. Just for something to look at. 3-day chart, straight up move. But markets go up, markets go down. And even within the straight up move, what I like to have happen, if we're going to have a point A to point B move, and point A we'll say is barely over 1, and point B is at least right now at 12 and change, and you could even go 20, 30, 50, wherever. If it's going to go there, I want to get some plays back and forth. And it hasn't been too magnificent, but there's really a couple decent ones that stand out. One of which you had to be there for because that was November 30th date. If you were, there was this. But again, to get these moves, you had to have been up on that day at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. But if you were, they're available. And if you had your orders in, same thing. They would have hit because you could have woke up in the morning and then get your buybacks. But even in here, we got a level of 8 and change, and this level goes to 3 and change. So you get a little bit of relief, if you will. And I say the word relief in the ownership of, in this case, would be your theta. Because you look at the amount of theta you own in here, which, of course, you would have had, you would have accumulated some going from 2.7 down to 1.1. So the amount that you would own here would be so much lower. And the amount of goat chain you'd have would be so much higher. And the relief comes into the point where now that this happens, you're not getting a lot of those buybacks. When you consider what you own here compared to what you own there, you're still only got a percentage of it back. But at least you got a little bit of it back so that when you have this grinding move that follows, you're able to sell whenever those days come. So probably around in here, and then maybe up on this level, and then just again here over this breakout. And you'd be in much better shape right in here, of course, than you would be over here. Let's just take a look at a few other random ones as well. Let's look at the percentage gainers. So we have Bitcoin Cash Theta. I showed this last night. This is I just started doing this one earlier. See my alerts getting close. It's not time to sell yet. So I have an alert here. So this is it. So I'll let the market do what it does. I'll either sell here or buy here. Just let it do what it needs to do. So let's just take a look again here at the portfolio, and then I'm just going to quickly take a look at how I do my. I mean, nothing's big's going to come up because a lot of my alerts would go off if something big is going to happen. Oh, Bitcoin's actually up to 10.9. What's going on here? This is a nice little breakout pattern. I think I said at the start of the video that it looked like it was going to be looking pretty good. I can't remember. I know it's been 28 minutes in, but yeah, wow, this is just nice on the 4-minute. Breaking out here at like 10.7, going up to 11. Let's bring up the Fibonacci from the Binance. Okay, so we probably got some more room to go higher because I see no Fibonacci lines. 15-minute term. The clear breakout of this level in here. I mean, you gotta think the 11. Yeah, it's gotta go to 11 too, man. I'm saying this like. I'm gonna remove this line anyway. This level of resistance just been taken out. That's the statement of this market. Yeah, I'm taking it out, and we're going to next key level. The next key level is 11,224, probably piercing extra higher. It's Fibonacci, so whatever. We'll see how it works. Is how many times do I say, oh, it's just luck that it's a key level? And if it hits again, it'll just be luck. But it passes the test of the three little bears spot. Not too big, not too small, just right. Now that looks about just right for what a leg higher would be. And if we don't resist this, I'm looking for a fast move up to 12 too. That's Yeah. So I'm just gonna show you my how I update. I showed this before. Let's quickly show it again. So Cardano was at 603. It's dropped to 586. Atom has dropped to set 37.73. So Bitcoin's going up, and some of the altcards giving back. It looks like everything's going down decent. There's Bitcoin Cash now at 30.87. Bitcoin was at 10.72, now at 10.95. Dash was 11.19, now it's at 10.97. DGB at 112. So I'm gonna pause the tape right now, and no, I don't need to delete my order. If it goes up to 113, 114, I'd have to delete my sell order for Bitcoin Cash. 576 for ETC, GoChain down to 113, 2471 for GRS. Komodo was 1176, now 1140. So when I see all this, everything's going down cumulatively. So let's just now scroll it down. So Litecoin is now 939. That's a decent sized decline there. So we got Neo down to 1251. Qtum was 350, now 305. Sky was 125, now 120. Theta's just T-Fuel down just one. Theta now 1116. Tron was 281, now 272. So everything's going down from that last breakout on Bitcoin. 876 in here. Altcoins just having a lot of up and down movements. So I'm glad to see the volatility coming in live. And then gold is 1,425, silver $16.20. Of course, I tracked that on my spreadsheet, but I'm not going to be showing any of those holding numbers on here. So taking a look at this in here. 9.55% for Bitcoin Cash and Theta. Yeah, it's close. Nothing here. I mean, everything's now dropping like 2% from last trade. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Litecoin GRS, I mean, 1 penny for that number. And 380 was rounded pretty much anyway. Litecoin Theta at 7.18 at 841. So it's close, but I wouldn't mind seeing that to get to 860, 870, 880. Get a little bit higher on that. 7.42 again for Neo Theta. Some close ones here in the Theta Go and Waves Theta as well. And Ripple Theta just pretty much at last trade. But yeah, not too much else to say about that. As far as some of the percentage moves, Theta is up 1.67% against the dollar, 6.6% against Bitcoin since July the 7th at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. That's now 13 days ago, which means Cardano, like we can see here, everything against the dollar. Bitcoin's only down 4.6%, but 19, 20, 17. DGB's only down 8.7, which is interesting. But yeah, 25% down, 20, 25, 25, 30. 20 Litecoin not as bad, 14.3, but you should get that out of Litecoin. It's not going to go up as much or down as much when everything goes down and up wildly. Neo 19% down, Qtum 31% down, Sky 18, T Fuel down 27, but Theta big difference there, and I'm sure there's a few other ones like that as well too, especially with stuff like maybe Chainlink. I mean, that's just doing amazing. I don't look at it as much because I don't trade it, but it's in the class. Chainlink is in the class of coins that cost a lot to withdraw, and I do a lot of withdrawals and deposits just because I like to have control of my own coins. The Stellar Lumen's only down 9.3%. You got Waves down 30, Ripple down 15, as is Tron. But that'll do it for this video. Another one, I make maybe too many, and some people say I don't make enough because they just love my content. Hey, anyway, Samantha Jane, she's an interesting feller. She's if you just Google her name in there, she's basically doing very high amongst the whole crypto markets. She personally has been buying gold as well, looking to sell that on a move higher. She said yesterday that it might be a little bit later before we hit those big gold 5,000 marks. It sounds more towards the spring. But yeah, Deutsche Bank. I got to put that up on the as well. That's the finishing talk because she basically says, in a sense, she didn't say it this way, but I'm trying to read her for what just another way. But basically, this is a weekend at Bernie situation. She said Deutsche Bank is already dead. It's just it's gonna have to be. What's up with these numbers? Let me just. That just looks terrible. Is that daily chart? Yeah, that shouldn't be how the stock would look like. Anyway, that's how it looks. But I mean, the stock has just been getting its ass kicked in this one. But it's the trigger event. Deutsche Bank is the indicator. Everything follows that kind of deal, and everything, of course, being that of a major run amongst a lot of the altcoins. And gold prices going to like $5,000, and I mean it's got a long ways to go in the 1,400 or so range right now. But if this thing is already dead, that means it's going to leak out, of course, as we move into the next this week coming and the week after that. A lot of it being said, the move right at near the end of August or end of July rather, is when we have like a very good early move. As I mentioned on the start of this video, don't be surprised if EOS brings its way up there. Ripple is another one of her favorites. There's just so many that she likes. Yeah. If you're interested in her channel, check her out, and then it's just very, very good content. But anyway, uh, then into August, late August, I guess around start of like near Labor Day, we are going to be having some phenomenal, probably blow off tops against both Bitcoin and the dollar. So if there are those phenomenal moves, what I'm hoping for markets and Deutsche Bank, I'm just going to use this as like a whatever since this coin is, or since this market is there. Of course, cryptos have had a lot of this type of look as well. If we get any of these types of rallies where these markets go up this way, both against the USD and against Bitcoin, for myself as a trader, well, what would that mean for me to do? Well, when it gets to those levels, especially when you see them near those blow off areas, high volume, I mean, they're pretty easy to indicate when you see those situations come in. You sell your coins. It's pretty much every coin that I got, for the most part, almost all of them. It's going to be trading my ratios. Yeah, I'll keep doing that, but then I'll take portions of all my coins and be like, okay, now I'm going to sell it against Bitcoin. And we'll sell it against Bitcoin, and what are we going to do with it? We're going to hold it. And then that Bitcoin, portions of it will be used for buybacks if it goes cheaper. So if coin A has, say, from 100 Satoshi, or 1,000 Satoshi, goes to 10,000 Satoshi, and I'm selling at this level, then I'm going to be looking to buy it back at, say, 4,000 or 38, all the way down to, say, well, whatever low I can take it down to based on the play, but at big moves. Some of it could be used for buying gold and silver and of the like, or just accumulating more Bitcoin. Something I'm not a big fan of long term is Bitcoin, but I'm still going to accumulate it for different reasons, of course, because it's you can be used as money and for trading. And then the U.S. dollar. So what that means I'm going to have to do is turn it into probably, I would guess, TUSD. True U.S. dollar, I would suppose, is the best one. If you can tell me good reason which stable coin to go into, let me know. But I would guess that's the one to choose. Buy it, send it over to your own hardware wallet, like an atomic wallet, and then when the prices have a significant move back down against the dollar, theta's like 12 cents. So if theta goes to like say $2, okay, I'm going to sell, and if it goes under a dollar, 75 cents, 60 cents, I'll buy it back. And I'll get an amazing return. So I'll do a little bit of that as well. So from the sounds of it and trying to predict it, my best guess would be that we're going to have some early move volatility over the next little while. So in the next 1 to 9 days, we're going to have a nice start rally towards it with EOS bringing it up. Market should have a very good multi-week rally. I wouldn't be surprised if we see September into October where we have some maybe good correctionary moves down in all of the cryptos. But then as we move into the later part of the year and into the first few months of 2020, I wouldn't be surprised if we have another good leg higher, but a lot of up and down choppy action along the way. So profit from volatility, buy low, sell high. That's what I'm going to be doing, of course, for yourself, your own risk, your own reward. And thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.